My name is Neha Sohal. Today I present my presentation in front of you. My topic is how catastrophic risks such as COVID-19 could impact the supply chain industry. A short introduction has been presented so that the problem can be explained in regard to the business. COVID-19 has now become a diamond for communities all over the world. The impact of COVID-19 on the supply chain industry is a main point of focus for the presentation. At present condition, the operations of the supply chain industry have got affected due to the effect of COVID-19. The whole of society has got disturbed due to the catastrophic condition. And this is my background of the topic. According to the view of the scientist, COVID-19 will stay longer and thus the business will be affected greatly. The supply chain industry has not yet obtained any solution for mitigating the pandemic situation. And the third one is discussion of the supply chain industry on supply chain industry. Discussion of the supply chain industry on introduction supply chain industry. The three main components of the supply chain industry are namely source, make, and deliver that help in keeping balance in the management, and other major industries are also depending on the industry for the project delivery process. And the fourth one is main factor supply chain industry. Assessing the business system, the supply chain industry has several critical factors. Among them, the two major factors depend on assessing the system and redesign it according to the trend. And the main factor of supply chain industry, continue my next friend. Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm Aqib Sayed Mustafa Ali.
Sorry, Akif, sorry for interrupting. Nikunj, are you changing the slides as they are reading?
हाँ,
Yeah,
वो
already.
स्लाइड्स का सारा खराब हो गया क्योंकि दो स्लाइड्स नहीं चल रही थी ना.
I've already changed it.
Yeah, Akif, you can continue.
All right, so the main factors of supply chain industry. So the supply chain industry is consisting of several for performing the daily operations the component supply chain is essential for every sector. Thus, it needs to remain active all over the year. Many critical success factors are related to the supply chain industry. So the five main factors of supply chain industry are assessing the business systems. The business systems needs to be assessed accordingly to the infrastructure in the supply chain. Assessing the business systems is one of the main factors of supply chain. The supply chain process needs to be developed often so that it can meet the criteria of the clients. Development in the supply chain can be done if the business system has assessed properly by the leaders. So the second one, redesigning of the processes. The process of supply chain gets redesigned according to the trend. It helps the supply chain to remain active for every sector. The supply chain partners related to the industry do the mapping of the current process, then redesign the process according to the needs. It helps to re-engineer the process of supply chain according to the need of industry. Third one, evaluation of the performance. It is crucial predictor of the supply chain industry. The performance of the processes must be evaluated for extracting its effectiveness on the system. The evaluated results help to determine the areas for improvement and thus results in providing the best services. Number four, increasing cost along with risk mitigation. The revenue or cost of the industry needs to be increased every year along with mitigating the risk. It can be done through proper planning for the project. The supply chain partners mainly emphasize on increasing the cost by applying measures on the system. The increase in cost helps in gaining more benefits for a particular organization. Fifth one, management responsibility. Sometimes the top management does not want to get involved in the supply chain process. It affects the supply chain industry a lot. Lack of managerial persons may lead an imbalance in the system. It must be avoided so the proper management operations can be performed. The top management should involve in the managing the responsibility, the executing the operations successfully. So the role of factors for enhancing the business. The first one, accessing the business systems. Regular assessment of business systems helps to identify the flaws in the system. The leaders can take suggestive measures for mitigating these flaws from the system. Second one, redesigning of the processes. The processes should be redesigned according to the trend of business. Redesigning helps to enhance the business effectively, and many functions can be added to the business after redesigning. The process must be followed by the supply chain partners and the leaders for the improvement of the supply chain system. Third, evaluation of the performance. In every industry, performance plays a main role in improving the business. Thus, the performance must be evaluated for increasing the growth of the business. Fourth, increasing cost along with risk mitigation. The cost of the business depends on the sales and the revenues of the business. It must be increased every year for the improvement of business. Thus, it will help to increase the business effectively in a highly competitive market. Fifth, managing management responsibility. Management responsibility is the main factor in enhancing the business of the supply chain. Other major industries prefer the supply chain partners that have efficient power of management responsibility for handling the functions. Thank you. The next will be continued by my friend Nikunj.
Hello, friend. My name is Nikunj Kathiria. Today I'm discuss about the effect of this COVID-19. Discuss of the effect of COVID-19 on supply chain industry. Introduction on the COVID-19. At the end of the 2019, the several cases of pneumonia with unknown etiology were identified in the Wuhan city of the Hubei province in China. In starting of January 2020, the WHO has declared COVID-19 outbreak as a public health emergency of international concern. In January 2020, the disease was named as SARS-CoV-2, is a severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. The effect of COVID-19 on factor of supply chain industries, assessing of the business systems. In many countries, seaports and airports are restricted or even sealed due to COVID-19, which is creating a big trouble for the industry. This delay increases the cost of supply chain, which one of the major problem for the industry. Redesigning of the processes. The sudden fluctuation in the demand and supply due to the global spread of COVID-19 virus infection have created significantly logistic and security challenge. It's prevent the effect of COVID-19 on factor of supply chain industries. As we discuss in the further evaluation of the performance, organizing the delivery and the collection of the products are hampered and have the slowdown due to the delay of shipments, in result in the decreasing performance of the industry. Second one is the increased cost along with the risk mitigation. The unexpected happening are missing opportunity for sales and excesses increase in indirect cost from the supplier to the short informative notice, dilution, and the even damage of reputation of the branded industry and organization. Third one is managing management responsibility. Theft and fraud risk has risen frequently even the regulator are active, but is no COVID defense for the regulatory compliance breaches. The next one is a decrease in the growth of industry due to coronavirus. The IMF International Monetary Fund declared that the global economy will decrease by
Sorry,
more than.
that's my slide.
Just wait. Just wait for the minute. I think आपने slides change की है क्या?
हाँ चेंज कर ली.
तो भाई मैंने तो फर्स्ट स्लाइड्स के वो ही बोला ना जो मेरे लैपटॉप में थी वो तो मैंने चेंज
Okay,
किया ही नहीं
anyhow,
कुछ.
That's fine. That's the one.
Recording going on. We'll just do the presentation. We'll just complete the presentation.
Yeah,
Because it's recording
that's
going
all
on.
good. That's all good. Yes. Go ahead, Abhay.
Yeah. So I'm sorry about that, sir. So I'll take over from the slide, the decrease of growth of industry due to COVID-19. So as my name is Mohammed Abdul Wahid. So today I'll be explaining about how the COVID-19 affected the industry growth and the supply chain management. So we've discussed in the earlier slides that what are the factors that affect the supply chain management and how they are influenced by different factors. So today we're going to study about how the industry is affected by COVID-19, the ongoing coronavirus. So yeah, the International Monetary Fund had declared that the global economy will decrease by more than 3% in the year 2020. So we might have read in the news yesterday that Australia is in a recession or is going to enter a recession. for the first time in like 29 years. That's like just the beginning, and we've even seen like there's a recession going on back in America because of these ongoing virus situations. So that's the reason that IMF has declared that the global economy, which means the overall economy of throughout the countries, is going to go down by 3%, which is the first one or the largest one after 1930s. That was when there was World War One going on. And secondly, as we read, oil prices have reduced to an extent in March 2020. So we have read in the news that there was a time where oil price went negative, like the share value of the oil prices was below zero. It was trading below zero. That was the impact of COVID-19 because like since the virus started, was just staying at home, like the transportation stopped and there was no usage of oil because of which the oil prices reduced below to zero, which decreased the demand of oil, which was one of the biggest impact of COVID-19. On to the slide, COVID-19 as a catastrophic risk. So COVID-19 has fallen a great has fallen a great effect on the working hours of the supply chain industry. Yeah, that's for sure. Because after the virus started, many of the workers in different places have stopped coming for work. They just prefer to take a paid leave and stay home, to stay safe. So this has mainly affected the supply chain management because if you have got a less number of workers, like your supply chain or your productivity decreases ultimately. So that has actually decreased the number of productive hours in the environment or in the workplace, which was one of the biggest, effect of COVID-19. And the second point, it has become a catastrophic risk for all the sectors that it has affected the earnings of several employees in the industry. Yeah, it's really sure because after the COVID-19 situation started, everyone was just staying home, stay safe. They minimized because they stopped going on, which actually affected the service sector and the food sector. So if it, for example, if this has affected the food sector and the employees in the food sector were losing their job and their incomes, which was one of the biggest effect of catastrophic of COVID-19. So moving on to the last slide, that's conclusion. COVID-19 has created a pandemic all over the research supply chain industry has been greatly affected. Yeah, we might have seen in not just in food sector or service sector or social sector. This coronavirus has infected all the, not just the supply chain industry, but the marketing industry, human resource industry, and all the industries have been greatly affected. The second point, operations of the supply chain industry at present condition is facing a drastic fall due to severe barriers created by COVID-19. So the supply chain industry mainly works when there is a supply of resources and products between different borders and different countries. As of now, all the countries have sealed their borders, which has affected like the supply chain industry drastically, like hugely, because all the borders are closed and no countries can supply their products and services to other countries. And the last point, according to the findings in the process, proper planning of an effective framework must be done to mitigate the risk of COVID-19 in the supply chain industry. Yeah, as we all know, this coronavirus is not going to wipe out in an early time or like not before end of 2020. So the good thing for the companies or the companies, what the companies can do is they might have to find out different ways how to tackle this virus and get the different alternatives to how to go on with this virus situation and even keep pace with the supply chain industry. So that's the conclusion. These are our bibliography, basically the sources which we have got the information for. So at the end, I would like to thank ma'am for giving us the opportunity to present even in these kind of situations. So thanks very much for the presentation on behalf of all. Yeah, Nilkunj, you can stop the recording.